What's up, Slappers? Another great video. We are doing it today. This is going to be a shorter one, a little easier. We're just looking at the ruler and the work plane. Now, you might realize from the past videos that we're always dropping the ruler on the work plane. The ruler has a hotkey. We could hit R and we could drop it at the bottom of our work plane just to get it out of our way and make our dimensions look good. The ruler is the first thing you always do. You always drop a ruler down. This allows us to see our dimensions. I'll show you the difference real quick. So I'll drag this box out here. We can't see anything unless we hover over these dimensions. When we hover over them, the little boxes to change the dimension, it makes it really difficult to work with a bunch of objects that are going to be out here. As soon as we drop that ruler down, I hit R on the keyboard. I drop it in the bottom left of my work plane. Boom, it tells us where from that corner or from that ruler that object is. So I can move the ruler to be in the corner of my object. I can move the ruler to be in the corner of my work plane. I could change all of my dimensions and I could see all of my dimensions as I change my object. One of the best tools in your at your disposal in this software. The other great tool is the Workplane tool. Let's look at a couple things with the work plane real quick. So our work plane, if you haven't noticed, has a grid on it. That grid is called a snap grid. What is happening, I'll zoom in on the grid real quick, is as I move my object, if I move it closer to me, it is snapping along the grid. Now, there is an option down here in the bottom right where it says snap grid to change how much it moves up and down. There's also an option to turn it off. So if you need something to be more exact, so I go 1/64th, it'll let me move this object 1/64th of an inch. Now, once you move it, you can't switch back to 1/8 of an inch and it moves your object back to 1/8, but it will change your snap grid back to 1/8. Now, as we go through, we also have our settings for our work plane. We could show our grid. We could show shadows. So if I turn on show shadows, it'll show shadows on the objects that I have on there. It'll show my grid if I want to show my grid, or I could turn that off so I could take photos of my object or whatever I want to do here. I like to leave the grid on while we're modeling just to make things easier to see what we're snapping to and so forth. So the work plane is a great tool. The great thing about the work plane is we also have it up here. Workplane tool, which has a hotkey of W. I could drag my Workplane tool out to my object and I could drop it on any side of my object to make building off that side a lot easier. So if I want to build, if I want to drag this round roof out here and build it off this side of the object, but I don't want to have to deal with bringing it up, bringing it down, moving it all around, I could just drop my Workplane on that side and it moves our work plane up and down. I could drag my round roof out, drop it right on that object, move it left, move it right, and now I could take my work plane, drop it back on my original bottom, and I can move this object to a line. Why is that thing up? I didn't tell it to go up. 0. There you go. Jesus. Who knows what's going on with this software? Anyways, now it's aligned with my box. I could group these together a lot easier than if I were to drag that out and try to move it, rotate it, make it look all crazy, and try to get it added to this box. The Workplane tool and the ruler tool, your best friends when it comes to TinkerCAD. I will see you in the next one because this was a short video.